Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Friday, June 9th. Starting a little bit early to counterbalance all the late days I've had. Thank you very much, 901 Funkle, for the shout out. Yeah, modding WSB is a lot, and that's kind of come to the forefront, actually, over the past couple days with what Reddit's doing with the API. So I guess while we wait for people to trickle in, I'll ask all of you, how do you feel about the Reddit API? Is this something you guys want WallStreetBets to protest? Should we temporarily shut down the sub, indefinitely shut down the sub, do a poll on it, do something funny? We've had a couple ideas. I think personally my favorite is the one where we make it so that you can only praise Reddit, as a practice run for the Reddit IPO. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? Protest the heck out of it. Shooting themselves in the foot. Protests don't change businesses' minds often, because it'll ruin Simple Vice's DD. Interesting stuff. All right, let me give you some background. Basically, Reddit's app kind of sucks. They bought Alien Blue, which is one of the original apps, a long time ago, and they ruined it. And it's not because it's like full of ads or anything like that. It's because a lot of things are just broken or not in the app. And you don't notice it as much for browsing, but for moderation, it's super painful, especially compared to third-party apps, which make it super easy to do. And so when Reddit came out with this API pricing change, they essentially were telling third-party apps to heck off. The pricing was so that they couldn't continue operating, and it didn't seem like they were willing to negotiate at first. And then since those early days, we've kind of seen more discussion come out of both Reddit and the third-party apps, and none of it is particularly leading to a constructive situation. So you got these third-party apps who are now being forced to shut down. A couple of them have, actually a lot of them, the top ones, have said that June 30th is going to be their last day, because that's when the API pricing stuff comes into play. So yeah, pretty soon moderators are going to be without kind of the tools they've always used to help keep communities safe. And I don't know, 2 million monthly active users, predominantly power users, I would imagine, are going to be without their default access or portal of access into Reddit. So a pretty small chunk compared to Reddit's something like 430 million monthly active users. But yeah, hope that explains a little bit for you. There is a little bit of confusion around, like, will this affect mod bots? I think the answer is generally no. Reddit was making commitments yesterday to like improve the quality of moderator tools on the first party app, so we'll see if that comes to fruition. So I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of a and yeah, you might say like it doesn't affect you because you're not a moderator, but I do think that people will feel like the downstream effects of this. If people are less inclined to post good content or less incentivized to like contribute meaningful discussion, it's gonna suck for everyone. And I think we've already really seen this around like 2015, and this isn't particularly Reddit's fault, but slowly over time we've been seeing significantly less text comment and a lot more memes and videos. And the big reason for that is the way that Reddit's app prioritizes those over text content, which is unfortunate for communities like WallStreetBets, where text content is really like kind of like the lifeblood of it. Although people will say they're just here for the memes. I don't know. When you look back, are like, maybe the memes are the thing you remember. I don't know. So yeah, I hope that gives you a little bit of an overview over, the API changes. But the good or bad news is Reddit isn't public yet, so you can't trade it, which makes all of the information I just gave you not particularly relevant to today's morning market talk. So let me just say Loose Venture's name and Simple Vice's name 3 times, so hopefully they may appear. Loose Ventures, Loose Ventures, Loose Ventures, Simple Vice, Simple Vice, Simple Vice, and of course, Meta. And with that out of the way, I think we can finally get started on today's talk. Yes, there was a big Tesla post earlier that I pinned. Is there another one for $1,250 calls on Tesla? I don't know. Let me know if you have the link. Feel free to post it. Very excited to see how up he is at open. CCL 1450 calls for July 7th. Wasn't that? Oh, July 7th. I read that as June 7th. I'm like, did you buy calls for 2 days ago? It's a bold move. Calls on Palantir at $18. Very nice. Kind of surprised, if I'm being entirely honest, that people are still trading Palantir in this day and age. So many better stocks, but you do you. I've just pinned the Tesla 6/9, June 9th, $250 calls. And let's take a quick look at how much he's up. So Tesla right now moved from 234 to just under 250. So he's still out of the money for his full $21,000. All his calls, he got them. He was in at 19 cents. So it really doesn't have to move much at all for him to be in the money. Maybe another, what is that, 0.2% or something, or 0.5%. Yeah, 0.2% actually. He's really close to being in the money. But it'll all depend on how much IV crushes him versus. So we'll see. I'm very excited for the update on that. Josh, you got them at 28 cents a piece. Very nice. Tiger of Trades calling Adobe in at 470 today. We're still really far from that. That is another 4% north of where the price currently is in pre-market, which is already up 4%. So ballsy ask to say 470 today, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 470 in the near future. And by the way, I'm talking, but you guys can feel free to jump in anytime. Feel free to raise your hands, or if you just like hearing me talk, that's cool too. Tesla 420 calls expiring today is probably not a good move. I mean, I get that it's a meme, but maybe do it June 9th, 2024. Although that's probably not a Friday, so might not have any of those available. What? Coinbase is on fire still? Are they still tanking after? Because they rebounded pretty heavily on the day that they were down 20% after markets roasted, after the SEC roasted them. In fact, they're pretty close to where they were even before that on June 5th. They briefly dipped down below $50, but now they're back up another 10% to 55. Slightly red in pre-market, but that's not so bad. SPY puts not getting past 430. Why? Why would you ever doubt SPY? We're 429. We are so close to 430. Why would you say that we can't make it above 430? Lots of people, Lorax asking what my stock pick is, or one stock I like. I really like SPY. The CEO of SPY seems pretty cool. uh, has his hands in a lot of pies, if you know what I mean. Like somehow runs Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple, all of them. So yeah.
You okay there,
Uh,
Opinion? You sound a little crackly.
oh, I don't know. Might just be the morning snow.
Oh, the ash from the Quebec fires.
uh, yeah, they've cleared up here mostly. I think today will be the last day.
Post-mortem on the GME play, I did a 2.1 bagger. So it was okay. Not as big as I would hope, but my 0.1 became 0.21% of my portfolio.
I found
Oh,
into that
very
party,
nice.
but I didn't sell my puts until the following day when it really tanked. So I made off pretty good. Thank you for that, by the way.
Juno, is your mic open?
When next quarter earnings comes up, when the press release is formally announced, I'll buy the highest strike call for the soonest expiration after the earnings call, so I can take advantage of the Vega. Because had I done that in the run up to earnings, I would have done a roughly 2.5x of the capital. The reason why I'm not posting plays ecstatic on Hornet is my nanny unfortunately had to leave us, or my former nanny had to leave us, going back to take care of family. And so Anita and I have been taking care of Noah all this time. And really, it's mostly Anita, and I'm just supervising. And even then, it's exhausting. And so, half on a double, and the plays I'm posting are temporarily on hold.
Not sure if you know this, but Rylar this week became a very proud father. So I think we're already creating the next class of Wall Street Bets folks, along with Scald and you.
Wonderful. In terms of the Russell play, I am anticipating getting in sometime next week. I'm looking for stocks among the lists that I published that are approaching their 30 to 60 day highs, and ideally are also approaching their gamma max. So I have two catalysts to support the puts that I intend to buy with a mid-July or August expiration. Nothing specific, but I do have watch lists set up for all of those tickers for myself.
Sorry, earlier I did want to mention that your play on GameStop earnings was a strangle, correct? You sold the
No.
call just before and then held the put.
Neither. So when the press release went out, I bought the strangle at the money. From press release to day of earnings, roughly a week, I sold the call when the price, or earlier in the morning when the price went up, and then when the price went back toward open, I sold the put, so that I effectively made money both ways. And then I waited till market closed and got I think it was 22 delta put against GameStop that, for whatever reason, continued to rise in the remaining 5 minutes. And then the price did what it did.
I'm surprised that your $22 put didn't print even more, but I guess that's just the high IV.
The liquidity wasn't there.
Ah.
So, because I had so many contracts, relatively speaking, some sold at like 3x, others sold at 1.5x. But altogether, I 2x that money.
There you go. You did the doubling part of half on a double.
I didn't think that was gonna run anymore. Too many price insensitive apes. So I'll take the time today to sell the short puts that I have in my longer term portfolio, and then see if I can reset that for next week.
So, T-Princess
I didn't
and
have advanced.
Skull.
Sorry, Gino, one moment. Bitcoin, I
Yeah, go
did
ahead.
not have advanced notice about furlong. It was very suspicious that there was so much like, could this squeeze news article coming out publicly, in addition to GameStop being at Gamma Max. And so, with those 2 points combined, I figured there were more downsies than upsies. Comfortable Clark, I do not have a YouTube channel. While I do know how to edit videos, the time it takes to produce that shit, not worth it for me. I do need to host an AMA at some point.
Anytime you want.
June 9 22s, I think, or 2250s. You know, a lot of people have said ASMR and be the voice guy for audiobooks. No one's offered me a job in that space. Maybe I should start up an OnlyFans. Yeah, see, I make more money doing nothing. Watching my short puts lose value so that I can buy them back at a lower price. Let's see it. 1 cent per second, that's 36 bucks an hour. You sure you want to do that, SwiftX? Stipper, if you want to do audiobooks, like if you want to do romance audiobooks, just go to our, what is it, Audio NSFW or Talk NSFW, whichever one it is. Listen to their moist, dripping voices. Also true. Sorry, who was speaking earlier? Was it Gino?
Yeah. Just wanted to mention that T-Princess and Scald hosted a AMA yesterday with the CEO of AITX. Very interesting conversation. It's a company that gets into robotics, non-weaponized robotics. They're getting deals with local police stations and stuff like that for their robotic dog. We have the transcripts from the AMA. I think they're posted up on Confused Money. If anyone is interested, take a look at that. Sounds like an interesting company. They're looking at growing. It's an OTC company, but might be worth a lottery ticket. Take a look at it. Do your own DD. We thought it was a very interesting conversation. He was very forthcoming in his answers and very straightforward. No BS. Even on the tough questions that we asked regarding late filings of their 10 Qs. All in all, it went very well, and hopefully we can do more in the future. Thanks to T-Prince and Scald for doing that.
So unfortunately for AITX, they're currently at Gamma Max.
It was definitely a good.
I'm sure the transcript will show some worthwhile insights. The ticker accomplished ad is Alpha India Tango X-Ray.
Aside from that, I'm playing Neo. I was playing the Neo earnings call this morning. I had puts on Neo. They missed revenue, but beat on earnings per share. But the earnings per share was still negative. It was supposed to be negative 290. It came in at negative $2.51. So I'm not sure how it's going to react to that. But hopefully my puts will print. And I bought some puts on Carvana. So we'll see what happens today. Good luck to me.
Yeah, what's going on with Carvana? I remember $11.50 puts they were printing. Now they're way up.
And they came out with a rosy forecast.
I wonder how long that'll last being propped up.
It's insane. A company that's run by crooks has a 93% institutional ownership.
What do you mean, okay quality? It's not specifically for explaining options. Plenty of other websites do that already quite well. This is simply how I trade options, or at least one of the ways I trade options. Admittedly, it's the shorts. Pardon me. The short stuff is not as sexy.
That's a nice chart on road fuel demand, Leaping Leopard. Thank you. Very cool.
Honestly, Leaping Leopard contributes so much really interesting and really random graphs and data.
Artie, did you see the comment I posted in the chat?
No.
So I was saying, do you think the fact that AITX is a OTC ticker without options, does that change how Gamma Max affects it?
You're right, they are OTC. Nice. Oh, the chart is for AIT. Right, that's my mistake. So never mind buying puts on AITX. You know, Redditor, there's kind of no point synthesizing my voice as AI. Just make your own. I'm sure there are plenty of improvements.
I can certainly use you as a base to train the AI. Seeing as I missed, I think the first 15 or so minutes, and looking at the title, I have a bad feeling what would happen if Reddit CEO did AMA. I think he'd just get a bunch of people saying, "Why are you raising prices on third party?"
Oh, he's doing it. 10:30 a.m. Pacific, which is 1:30 Eastern for those not aware. On r/Reddit. Should be a blast.
Is that today?
That's today. Probably won't watch the AMA while this call is going on. I think it's quite late in the day, especially on a Friday. But here's the link so that you can follow along when it goes live. I think the only thing funnier is if they had allowed a remind me bot reply for when the call would start, or when the AMA would start. But should be some good popcorn time anyhow for a platform that we all came from.
Has WallStreetBets decided anything about the planned protest on Monday?
So yeah, I kind of mentioned this earlier in the call, but a couple, just listing out our thoughts. We could black out, obviously. We could do a poll. We could remove ourselves from r/all. But I think by far the funniest thing that we could do is make it so that you could only praise Reddit, in preparation for their IPO.
An opinion is getting paid by Reddit. That's why he doesn't want to. I want to shut everything down.
Yes.
They're paying in like $350.
I think
They said Reddit, not Meta.
I think in solidarity, we should only be allowed to discuss GME and the future that it will bring to saving our planet.
That's true.
No, we should discuss plays. Actual plays.
Oh, god dang it.
GameStop's going to acquire Reddit.
What a huge deviation from the norm.
Let's do that then. Change this
Seeing as we
title.
already have a refuge from Reddit. Also, I'm slightly salty because they temporarily canceled me.
Oh, that was quite some time ago.
Yes. I'm still salty.
Yeah, I mean, they did that to me too, and I appealed their ban and told them that just because you disagree with somebody doesn't make it harassment or anything. And then when the humans looked at the ban, they ended up reversing it that same day. And it's ridiculous I mean, the cancel culture on Reddit is disappointing.
There
I
we
think
go.
that's
Change the
stupid
title.
that they'll ban
go ahead.
accounts just because, or they'll ban someone just because of reports. It's like, you're supposed to look at the reports, you idiots.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, you should look at them. And it was, they, like I said, when I appealed it, they agreed with my position on it, and they reversed the ban. They unbanned me.
All right, let's revisit this conversation when Reddit goes public and we can all buy puts on them. Until then, I've changed the title to Tesla presses on the gas. A hilarious joke, since obviously, Tesla is an EV company. But seeing a lot of game porn on the subreddit for Tesla, which is great.
Is this just because of the Model Y outselling the Corolla?
No,
Or is there some other catalyst?
Ford and GM are
Oh.
using Tesla charging stations
I see.
to charge their EVs. Tesla's becoming the OPEC of the EV industry. Everyone's going to be using their charging stations.
Well, didn't they open source their charging infrastructure?
Yep.
Makes sense then.
Yep. And they're also licensing their one of the most recent announcements was that they're licensing their autopilot and full self-driving solution to other OEMs.
That seems silly.
I don't know. A licensing worked well for Microsoft.
Yeah.
EULA.
But Microsoft had no hardware to sell.
Oracle has earnings coming up this month. Is there anything particularly interesting about Oracle, or is it the same it's always been?
Isn't Oracle considered to be an option for buying out TikTok here in the U.S.? To take over TikTok here in the U.S.? Where do things stand on that?
I think the odds of TikTok being force acquired by somebody in the U.S. are slim to none, at least under the current administration. So I wouldn't put too much stock into that. But I do think people were trading Oracle and a few others around that news back in the day. Oracle will spin some AI tail. I mean, Oracle is in the right place to enable companies to do more by leveraging AI.
Their
And yes, I'm fully.
kind of sucks.
What sucks?
Oracle's cloud solution. I use them for the free tier.
Is it possible your operations are too small for it to matter, for Oracle to be useful?
Well, if it doesn't work at the low end, what guarantee is it that it'll work at the high end?
Probably all the people who pay them lots of money to be worth $290 billion.
It's not for their cloud product. It's for the Oracle database, PeopleSoft, all those legacy, let's call it mid-80s products that act as ERP for many companies.
Is that what they refer to as NetSuite? Their NetSuite product?
NetSuite, I think, is accounting. I don't know how big that is versus PeopleSoft.
They're advertising. Yeah, NetSuite is advertised a lot, and they seem to be doing a lot of advertising for that.
Yeah, when the first search result for NetSuite pricing is a link to NetSuite's site that says NetSuite pricing management, I have a feeling that they're bringing in a lot of money from NetSuite.
Oh, absolutely. If the price isn't published, it's a if you have to ask sort of thing.
We've been talking about commodities with corn and fish production. Are commodities something that you've traded before or talked about publicly, Hardy?
I haven't traded commodities directly. Commodity ETFs, sure.
What is your preferred vehicle?
The futures have their advantage for the tax treatment.
Right on. Good morning, Scald. You missed the Reddit discussion, which was completely not market related. But you also missed the AITX recap. Not sure if you had anything you want to touch on around that. And I say sorry to Lorax, by the way, in advance for continuing to talk about the $70 million company.
Oh, I just think we had a great interview with the CEO. He had a lot of great points as far as he talked a lot about as far as the actual stock goes and the stresses that are faced with OTC companies. I know some people that are owners of OTC companies that have also experienced some of the same challenges that he has with as far as shares being piped, etc. in the past. So it's interesting to see that they're cleaning up their debt and they're moving forward. Also interesting to see that their dog is on a television show, on Fox. So pretty interesting stuff. I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but that's it. I've decided to buy some shares.
Did my question ever get answered around whether you can pet the robot dog?
Not only can you pet it, but it has two-way audio and video. And if you get a little bit too aggressive with it, it has what's that mode called? Scald?
Thrash mode.
Thrash mode, where its arms will spin around like helicopter blades and beat the hell out of you if you mess with the dog. So be nice to the
You can pet
robotic
the doggo, you just can't pick it up.
Yeah, don't try
I
to
think
pick
that's
up the dog.
one of my favorite parts is that it can fight fully autonomously. Like, that's pretty cool. Don't try to run off with the dog if you see it in public. It will beat the heck out of you.
Now, did you also ask him about the first and third wall about robotics and how you felt about that?
That question did come up. The three laws of robotics, and in fact, he said that he was greatly influenced by those from a book that he read when he was a wee lad, first starting out in AI and robotics.
Yeah, Sleepy Nate just corrected me, so that was him.
None of this could be possible without, the underlying technology. And semiconductors also have been something in the news a lot. Leap and Leopard posted a pretty cool chart showing change in node size, but I don't think that's a very accurate descriptor of, what's the word? Processing power that a chip can have. And apparently not all nanometers are measured equally. Node sizes, there's some nuance there around exactly how it's measured. Of course, all nanometers is a standard unit of measure, but I think it's a little bit harder to compare. And to be honest, I don't know all the details, but between TSMC, Samsung, Intel, and a few others, there's a lot to choose from in terms of who to invest with. Does this chat have any opinions or preferences off the top of their head? Oh, we've got opinions, all right. Sleepy Nate, come on up here. All excited to hear your opinions. Let me invite you up. We got Intel.
Yeah, first of all, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. But did you want a relevant opinion?
I appreciate the first one and fully agree with you. I'll take the second one now.
What was the question again? I was just saying we have strong opinions.
No. I was just saying, between all of the semiconductor companies, which one's your favorite? Which one is priced reasonably at the moment? And maybe for Hardy, any of them close to Gamma Max? Or sorry, Delta Neutral.
I'm going to be... this is dicey because I think TSM, but then there's the whole China problem.
That's true. Are they not building on shore for the U.S.?
No, but they're like they're not. Actually, I should answer. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing in the U.S. But I really liked everything I was hearing about them. And then there's the threat of action with international trade in Asia. So it's like, I don't know that that's where I want to put my money.
Fair enough, and I think that hesitancy is the reason why a lot of people aren't putting their money, aren't willing to invest in China, and that has all kind of downstream effects, including, perhaps unfairly discounting quite a few of the ADRs for Chinese companies. Alibaba, perhaps correctly discounted, is one example of where the China discount makes a lot of sense. I do want to do something a little bit different. Hardy, I love the. I assume this is ChatGPT converted.
Before. I'm not.
Does it do emojis?
Yes.
Oh, I had no idea.
So, opinion, I do want to say, if I had to play my tinfoil hat and pick an American company, even though they're much reviled in this community, I think Intel is going to get the money from the government if there's a fallout between the U.S. and China.
Absolutely fair enough. The one thing I wanted to do, which we haven't done in quite some time, is just ask either the speakers or people in the audience to talk about one stock, any stock that hasn't been mentioned here, either in today or a couple weeks. Give us something fresh, something new, something probably garbage, but any company. Let's get something fresh in here.
Have we talked about Equitrans getting a bunch of money from the government?
I don't think we have. We have talked about PBR. I don't think we've actually talked about Snap in a very long time. SMCI, FCell, I feel like we've talked about that. FFIE, it's an old one. Haven't talked about that in a while. MMC, Bohr, Baby, Bed Bath & Beyond. They're bankrupt already. Never mind. We've definitely talked about Intel already, Fatmans, but curious to hear thoughts on that as well. WBD, FedEx, TUP. We talked about TUP a bunch. SoFi?
Is that fresh enough?
That's fresh. But let's go to what Sleepy Nate was saying first. Was that Sleepy Nate?
Okay, so yeah, it was the last week in May. The Equitrans got a deal where they got a bunch of money from the government to build I think natural gas pipeline, and their valuation went up by 50% overnight, and so they immediately went from like a $6 stock to a $9 stock, and so. I'm betting that there was someone out there who knew that ahead of time and made bank on that.
There was, and in fact, there was actually an article in one of the financial publications that talked about one trader had some trades on that pipeline being completed. And there was no, they were questioning how he knew.
Somebody always knows, right? Like the names don't go around the meeting rooms and have no one hear them, right?
Yep.
Regardless of if somebody knew, I think before it went up 50%, I think we just want to be that person, that 50%, that captures that 50% raise. So,
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
sneaking into government meeting rooms. That's my new plan.
And then Hardy, you were going to mention something before, so rudely shifted back to Sleepy Nate.
SoFi. Right at Gamma Max, they've hit this point twice in the past. Potential for downsies.
Have they done so both times in the past?
Yes.
Ooh.
Actually, thinking about that, I have a couple of hundred shares of SoFi, and they're looking really good right now. So I was thinking of getting some puts to hedge my shares.
Any specific date, Hardy, on those SoFi puts? Asks the Chirp. Chirp, I think he's still looking for them. Chris, KRUS is a ticker I have not heard before. Also SLI. Well, I have heard of SLI before, but Y26, what is Chris? And here, feel free to take the invitation to come up here and speak. What is this? Kura Sushi. It's a $1 billion company that I imagine makes sushi.
Well, anyone should be worth $1 billion and make sushi.
They are weirdly volatile. They will like swing 50 to 100%. Interesting. What's this? Mercedes-Benz EVs are not selling well? Pattern day trader? Pattern trader? I'm sorry, what? You picked one up for 40% off MSRP? That seems unheard of for a car. Especially now, when people have to wait so long? What are the details? What card you buying for how much? Are you sure you didn't just misread the price? Because, wow. Also, by the way, are these the same ones that start at like $200,000? Even brings up a point on the math behind renewables and renewable energy. Question has always been, is it more price efficient? Because that's what drives all major decisions. And the only reason why renewables get any extra airtime than perhaps they deserve is because of government subsidies on renewables when they exist. Same reason that the whole EV industry was able to get up and into common public knowledge was because of major subsidies from the government.
I mean, so did ICE cars, right? They had huge subsidies as well, so all vehicles kind of got that at their start.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think a large part of renewable investing, or investing in renewables, or in anywhere around that, is more so playing government subsidies and government policy than anything else. And I suppose to a large extent you could say that's true for everything, right? Airbnb is just a play on local municipality regulations. But it feels different for commodities, especially energy, because something that's so public and talked about so frequently, and because they're global commodities. There's no locality to it.
I get what you're
Well,
saying,
there's
opinion. I'm just saying it's a historically subsidized sector. It's not like they just came out with those for EVs and for green energy, and they hadn't been doing it before.
True, absolutely. Has anything new happened in the world of uranium lately?
Quite a bit, but I'm not going to bore people 9 minutes before market opens.
What are we supposed to do with these last 8 minutes? Talk about GameStop?
Question for Marty, if that's okay. On your half on a double, sometimes the gamma max value seems to shoot off the charts. What causes those massive spikes in the gamma max on your charts?
It's the algorithm that I'm using to calculate the price which creates the maximum. I haven't really found a good way to smooth it out.
Gotcha.
And for
Thank
the
you.
most part, I just ignore it.
Yeah, I do too. I was just wondering. It was more curiosity than concern. Thank you.
All right, couple minutes to market open, so let's recap some plays. We'll start off by Fire 45er. Your play on SMAR is down 20% after earnings, and you're in for cheap calls expiring this Friday? You mean like today? Expecting a rebound? Sure. I mean, could work. We saw the same thing work out for coin. If you had bought calls on open, I think you would have been up by end of day after it fell something like 20% on the SEC news. Artie just closed his play on GameStop, delivered the post-mortem earlier in this call, and we had a lot of talk about Tesla earlier as well, with people up or expecting to be up fairly significantly. I think Tiger of Trades, you had some $230 calls. Those are going to be very nice. I think they might actually be triple, I think, or higher than what your P&L was showing. And then, of course, on the subreddit, we have a whole bunch of game porn for Tesla as well today. We've got Oracle $100 puts for July 14th. Why the sad face, Bumblebee? Why so mad? Adobe calls, Conchu? Any strike or expiry on that? Oh no, Bumblebee says hold on. I think he's gonna type up a storm about Oracle, but we've only got 5 minutes left. Oh, Fire 45 he's coming up.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
So yeah, guys, I posted in the chat there, Smart Sheet. I'm long for the company. I've been purchasing that stock for roughly the past 2 years now. So overall, I really like them, but I decided to buy some calls for the first time, expiring not this Friday, but a week from now. I'm only in for $250 on it, but that's a lot for me. I'm typically a boomer investor here. I just feel really good about the company. I use their product regularly at my job and everything. And really, that 20% that it fell a couple days ago, I feel like was a total overreaction. Basically, the money was just coming in a little bit sooner than what was anticipated, and what scared everybody is they didn't adjust their forecast at all. They were actually up in revenue for the quarter, but they didn't adjust the forecast for the next 12 months. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's definitely worth throwing a few bucks at.
What does their application do? Like, what does Smartsheet do?
It's a project management tool. So basically, it's Excel except on the cloud. I've been using it for probably 6 or 7 years now, and basically it's a competitor of like Microsoft Projects and things of that nature. But yeah, I love the company. Absolutely love it.
Well, fantastic. Thank you, Fire. I think people in the comments are catching up and starting to do some research.
Thank you.
On it. Already before 9:30, the people must know.
What's the question?
SoFi, what date and price?
Oh, okay. That's it. Okay.
Weapon, that is a big jump for Carvana sympathy stock. It also looks like a terrible penny stock.
SoFi, July 21, $8 puts for 45 cents or less.
There you go. Does that answer your question, guys? On SoFi puts, MNARM, and others. Super Kush. Bitcoin, how can Room be the Temu version of Carvana when Carvana was already like the Temu version of buying a car? Yes, Blink, I think that's correct, but you can always check the YouTube and videos and just rewind if you ever miss a ticker or anything. And maybe the final play to send us off for the day, Gandalf's got SoFi August 14th calls. What's the strike on those, Gandalf, quickly? Not typing. $14. Excellent. Oh, damn. All right. Well, interesting play. And that's the bell. Markets are open. I'm going to keep the call rolling for a couple more minutes. Or if you guys want, I can just leave it open for you guys to continue chatting away.
Opinion, the chat wants to hear your play.
That's fair. And I empathize with that, but I also want $1 million. Just can't have everything we want in life. Just how it is. SoFi July $21. July 21st, $8 puts. Similar play to Hardy. Very nice. Isis with a rat on this one. Oh no. DocuSign beat earnings. Fun fact: the r/DocuSign has 306 subscribers. Learned that today. Beat QQQ to 69. Okay. Very funny, sir. Yes, Temu is the Chinese Wish. Although Wish was already like the Chinese Amazon, so these analogies or comparisons for all these Chinese companies are getting very confusing. On
Bob is the Chinese Amazon.
Tesla calls up 500% for Con Scoot. Very nice. Post that game port Con. Shop $65 calls for July 28th. Carvana $10 calls. What?
I think he means $10 puts.
Okay, like $10 call
you just
puts.
Put the C by like habit.
Permables, I tell you. $10 puts. There we go. Thank you, Razmataz, and sorry to hear about your Carvana puts.
I'm surprised there hasn't been more talk about the Carvana sneeze.
Oh, Lorax, journalist is still alive. Interesting. Well, if anyone reaches out to journalist, he's more than welcome to come back, and we'll do a nice little reunion for you guys. We'll even post on the sub and get some fresh faces in here. So, he hates me. Okay, never mind then. So,
oh shit, Opinion.
All the more reason to get him over here.
Opinion,
Yeah.
You gotta be careful, man. You know how they do it on the streets.
Right. Sorry, he's in Europe, right? Like, the worst he can do is like stab simple. Just over a few countries in Croatia. Make him do a post-mortem on his trade recommendations. Oh, I'm sure he would only say the good ones. But either way, it'd be very funny. So, all for it.
He'd want us to pay for that service.
Oh no, is he trying to charge people money?
He's trying to charge us for his DD.
Oh god. So very on brand.
I still want to have a talk between him and Stayfly and just their two opposing opinions clattering.
Jesus,
We could get it to
oh
be.
my God.
If we could get that to be a rap battle, that would be even better.
I would watch that. But markets are open, so I'm gonna hop off. There's plenty of other people coming up to speak. If you would like to come up and speak, feel free to raise your hand, and I'll invite you up real quick.
Have a good day at Citadel, Opinion. Remember to swim in the dark pools and wear your shorts.
Got it. I brought my own ladder to work today, so.
Short ladder. A very short ladder.
Cheers for now.
See ya. Have a good weekend.
Alright, now that nerd's gone, let's actually have some real plays, guys.
All right, good talk.
Yes, Carvana's still going up. It's like no joke. It's probably a little Carvana squeeze. Let's be real, and it happens. I guess, is it fair to call it a little squeeze when it did 50% yesterday? It's a Carvana squeeze. Just enjoy watching it. It's fun.